हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते प्राप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। नारायण नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये। Hare Krishna. So today is also a very, very auspicious day because today is the disappearance day of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Yesterday was Srila Madhvacharya's disappearance day. Today is Sripad Ramanujacharya's disappearance day. And day before yesterday was, who remembers? Very, very empowered week. All the great stalwarts, Acharyas, the Vaishnavas, their appearance and disappearance falling in this week. Day before yesterday was Bhishma Dev's Bhishmashtami. So the Ramanujacharya's contribution is immense because Sripad Ramanujacharya is one of the foremost Vaishnava Acharya who preached the philosophy of dualism. From monoism of Shankaracharya, Srila Ramanujacharya very vehemently preached the philosophy of dualism, that the Jiva and the Ishvara, they are two distinct and different entities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two principles from Srila Ramanujacharya's lineage. Anyone knows? What were the two principles that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted from Sripad Ramanujacharya? We have discussed this so many times. We were fortunate to go and have the darshan of Sripad Ramanujacharya at Srirangam also. Yes, Ravinder, Priyanka, बताइए. Two principles that Gaudiya Vaishnava.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
The complete annihilation of impersonalism and Vigraha Seva.
Oh, this is Ramanujacharya?
No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
No. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this from, I'm asking, what are the two principles he accepted from Sripad Ramanujacharya? If you would have answered this yesterday, it would have been perfect. Complete annihilation of monism and Sri Vigraha Seva are the two principles, two elements which Lord Chaitanya accepted from Sri Madhvacharya. Sripad Madhvacharya. Don't get confused. What are the two elements, two principles that he accepted from Sripad Ramanujacharya? Dayashil Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
service to the Vaishnavas.
Very good. It is called Bhakta Jana Seva. Very good. Bhakta Jana Seva. And the foremost, the first, you should be knowing very clearly. What is the first principle? All our acharyas accepted the principle of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Bolo, Ravinder. What is the definition of pure devotional service?
अनन्य भक्ति प्रभु.
Yes, Ananya Bhakti. What is Ananya Bhakti?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Ananya Bhakti is devoid from jnana and karma.
yes, very good. Anya Vilashita Shunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavritam. So Ananya Bhakti and Bhakta Jana Seva. And Sripad Ramanujacharya, he was such a powerful Acharya that he completely eradicated the monoism of Shankaracharya. We will continue our Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you remember some contributions of Sri Ramanujacharya? Mention some of the prominent contributions that you remember of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Any pastime related to Sripad Ramanujacharya? I have given lectures of Sripad Ramanujacharya at least 4 to 5 times and never less than 90 minutes. Or even at times more than 100 minutes. You don't remember anything? Darshan, Ramya is not hearing today.
Yes, she's coming, Prabhuji.
Gaurangi, sit quietly. Shanti se बैठो. Sit. Sit and hear. जल्दी बोलो. इतने सालों के बाद इतनी बार श्रीपाद रामानुजाचार्य का अपीयरेंस डिसअपीयरेंस डे होने के बाद यू पीपल आर साइलेंट. Yes, speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
Ramanujacharya was given one mantra by chanting that all the people can go back to Godhead. So, but his spiritual master told that don't speak to anybody else. He did not obey that, and in spite of going to any extent, he distributed this mantra to all, Prabhuji. So, though he was thinking that if something happened to me, there is no problem, but others should go back to Godhead. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So what it exhibits? What does this pastime reflect?
He's
What is
selfless, Prabhuji, selfless, not thinking about his own progress and advancement. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Yes. Who was the spiritual master? There are how many spiritual masters in the life of Sripad Ramanujacharya? Who remembers? Who is the first one? Who is the first teacher or the spiritual master of Sripad Ramanujacharya? Yes?
Prabhuji, Kanchipurna.
Very good. Kanchipurna. Sripad Kanchipurna. Sripad Kanchipurna, who used to go and worship Varadaraj, and he used to cross from the village of Ramanujacharya. Very good. Who is the second? And we should remember. Yes, Priyanka?
प्रभु जी महापुन्ना
Yes, he was initiated by Mahapurna. That is true. Yes. What is the pastime with Sripad Mahapurna? बताओ. Bolo, bolo. Your hand is up, so please speak. Oh, we have little time. I want to pursue the Bhagavatam also.
प्रभु जी if I am not wrong he is doing a very wonderful service that is the fan seva to Lord Varadaraj.
That is Kanchi Purna. That is Kanchi Purna. It is already done. Mahapurna initiated him. He got initiated by Sri Mahapurna. Mahapurna was sent by Sripad Yamunacharya. Pradeep, Pradeep, your daughter and your audio both are loud. Anyway, you should remember, I mean, this is not done. So much I am trying to share the Acharya's life and contribution, but you people don't write. Yes? Bro, jaldi, quickly. You have raised your hand and then speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Mahapunna had a daughter and she married in a place where she have to do very much household chores. So one of the disciple of Sripad Ramanujacharya,
Dasharathi.
uh,
Dasharathi.
he goes to her village and he served as her servant. And
Yeah.
he did not disclose his identity, and once and he do everything at their home, and that all I remember.
Yes, very good. Very good. And Dasharathi wanted to know the full meaning of the verse Sarv Dharmani Parityaje. So first, Sripad Ramanujacharya sent him to Goshti Purna. You first remember the 5 Purnas in the life of Sripad Ramanujacharya. First is Sri Kanchi Purna, then there is Mahapurna, then there is Goshti Purna from whom he got the mantra. That mantra was so powerful that whoever chanted that mantra could directly go to Vaikuntha. Then Vararanga and also Maladhara. So these were the 5 prominent Siksha Gurus of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Okay, how many of you have memorized the verse? The verse that we recited yesterday. I think it's a very easy verse. All of you should be knowing. Purushottam, boliye, yesterday's verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Tulyam lave napi cha sargam na punarbhavam Bhagavat
What you will tell your daughter? Huh? She is memorizing very difficult verses you send me. And what about you? This is one of the most, this is the easiest verse in entire Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no verse which is easier than this verse. Tulyam lavanapi na swargam na punarbhavam. Then what is more valuable?
प्रभु याद किया था अभी
याद कहाँ हुआ है? अक्षय आप बोलिए।
कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा।
तुलानाम लवना अपि
तुला
न
नाम कहाँ से आ
स्वर्ग
गया? तुला नाम नहीं है, तुल्या।
तुलाया तुलाया
तुलया भी नहीं है, तुल्याम है। तुला होती है ना,
तुल्याम लव
तुला जानते हैं?
जी
तुला,
जी
जिसमें तोला जाता है। तो किसी भी वस्तु के इसके बराबर मूल्य नहीं है। तुल्याम लवनपि।
तुल्याम
आगे
लवना अपि न स्वर्गम अपुन अपुनहम भवम
ना पुनर्भवा, ना स्वर्गम ना पुनर्भवाम।
पुनर्भवम
Swargam is what? Heavenly planets. So all the karmis, what is their aspiration? वो सब के सब कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं? हाँ, वो सब जितने भी कर्म कांड के अनुयायी हैं, वो सब के सब स्वर्ग में भोग करना जाना चाहते हैं। तो ना स्वर्गम ना पुनर्भवाम। और जितने ज्ञानी हैं वो कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं? ब्रह्म ज्योति में। तो फिर क्या है? क्या सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है? यहीं आगे पुरुषोत्तम फंस गए थे, आप भी वहीं फंसे हैं।
तो भगवंत संगी संघस्य मर्त्वानाम
नर्त्यानाम।
किम किम उत आशीष
हाँ, वेरी गुड। दोबारा बोलो।
लव्यानाम लव्यानाम
लव्या नहीं है, तुल्या। तुल्या।
तुल्याम लवना अपि
एक मिनट, लिख के याद किया क्या आपने?
जी
लिखा?
पढ़ा था प्रभु जी पढ़ा
हाँ,
था
तो आपकी मेधा जो है ना, मेमोरी, हाँ, परीक्षित महाराज की तरह नहीं है। समझ गए?
जी
कम से कम 20 बार लिखिए। अगर मेहनत करेंगे, प्रयास करेंगे तो ही ये चित्त में घुसेगा, वरना घुसेगा नहीं।
जी
हम्म? लिख के याद करना पड़ेगा। अगर आपको रियली जी इसको जानने की इच्छा है तो थोड़ा प्रयास करना पड़ेगा। बोलो, बाकी लोग फटाफट बोलो। प्रदीप, यू डिसाइड। Pradeep, to unmute, you are taking so much time. Don't waste
My
time.
daughter is crying.
So, your daughter is?
Crying, Prabhuji.
You speak, na? Let her do whatever she is doing.
तुल्याम लवनेनापि न स्वर्गम न पुनर्भावम भागवत
Very
भागवत
poor. No, no, leave it. Poor, very poor. Extremely poor. No effort in trying to memorize the verse. You're not entered into the spirit of the verse. Priyanka, you recite.
तुल्यां नवेनपि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गी सङ्गस्य मर्त्यां किम् उताशिष।
Very good. What is the meaning? Can you give the translation? What does this verse mean?
तुल्यां न तुल्यां लवेनपि
It is not tulayam. Yesterday also I corrected you. It is
तुल्यां
tulyam. Tulyam. Tula is, tula, the balance.
तुल्यां
Balance is required for what? If you want to know the weight or if you want to know the value, how will you know? You have to measure it. Huh? Anything to be measured, anything to be weighed, you need a weighing scale. It is called tula. So tulyam lavanapi. Nothing in this world can be valued, which is compared to lavanapi. How much is lava? I yesterday I shared with you. How much? What is the unit of lava?
The 9th part of a second.
Yeah, 1 to the 9th part of the second, which cannot be compared to na swargam, na punarbhavam. So nothing in this world can compare all the opulence, all the wealth, all the objects for sense gratification. Nothing in this world can compare to the pleasures of the heavenly planets. Even the heavenly planets' pleasure cannot be compared. Tulyam lavanapi. Na swargam, na punarbhavam. What the Jnanis, Karmis, they want heavenly pleasures, and Jnanis, they are seeking after liberation. So the pleasure which can come from heavenly planets or the pleasure which can come from liberation can never be compared to what? To Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya, association of a pure devotee. Bhagavad Sangi, who is an associate or who is a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Why? Martyanam kim uta ashisha. For those who are destined to die. Why? Because if you go to heavenly planet, still you have to die. Once your quota of sense enjoyment is over, you will again be thrown back to this material world to die. So you cannot escape death. The suffering of birth and death will prevail even if you go to the heavenly planets. Or even if you elevate to the Brahma Jyoti, there also you cannot stay there. Why it is so? That Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya is so prominent, is so valuable, that nothing can compare to it, not even the heavenly pleasures, not even the pleasure of liberation. What is so very extraordinary about Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya, that too for Lavanapi? What is your understanding? Why it has been given so much of prominence in Srimad Bhagavatam? The sages are so overwhelmed to have the association of Srila Suta Goswami. What is so distinguished about Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Lavanapi? Otherwise, it will be like a parrot-like recitation, which will be of no good use. Did anyone deliberate on it? Why the sages are so much appreciating? The verse before and the verse after, they continue to glorify. Boliye?
Because they are always glorifying Supreme Lord's name, and qualities, and it is transcendental.
So how will it affect us? Or how is it affecting the sages who are assembled there?
Okay, if I keep right on.
Yeah, Priyanka, go ahead. How does it affect us, or how is it affected the sages? Why they are saying that this is the greatest benediction? Martyanam kim utaha ashish. Ashish means the benediction, blessings. Why they are thinking that this is the greatest blessing or benediction which has been bestowed upon us?
One can
It was-
uplift to the mode of goodness, and we progress in the path of devotion.
How? That is what I want to know. What is the cause and effect? The cause he has said. The cause is the Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. But how the effect takes place? Don't leave it. Drill it to understand it, to be able to value it and to be able to receive it in our life. Yes, Dayashil?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Just a minute. Prabhuji, as Priyanka Mataji told that a pure devotee glorifies the name, fame, qualities, pastime of the Supreme Lord, which is like nectar. They are telling that this is like nectar for them, for the mortal being. And the reason being that the more one hear, the more one be situated in the knowledge, and he can progress in the path of surrender to the Supreme Lord.
But one essential thing is still missing. How the effect takes place. How it is Mrityanam Ashisha. How this benediction can actually become accessible in life. What is that effect? Sonika?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, hearing,
Yeah. Hearing still something is missing. You have come close, but still not on the point. Who will close it?
hearing from Bhagavad Prabhu, Bhagavad.
That is true. That is hearing from Bhagavad. Hearing from Bhagavata about Bhagavan. True. What is the effect? I am asking what is the effect? That one effect that makes one cross Martyanam. Yes. Wait. Others have not participated. Only you two people are trying. Manoram Prabhu, what is that effect of such an association of Lavanapi? You memorize the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Did you deliberate on it? No. Then how can you have understanding or realizations?
Prabhuji, one thing, I think this material attachment will go away.
This is all
by thinking.
speculation. You'll not get the root of it. You'll not get the root. What is that one effect? That is Martyanam Ashisha. Yes, Darshil is the last chance.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Ramya.
Prabhuji, as Kunti Maharani prays in her prayers that Sarvanti Gayanti Grinanti Abhiksnasa Smaranti Nandanti Tavahitam Jana Taeva Pasyanti Achirena Tabakam Bhava Prabaha Paramam Padambujam.
That is true. You are giving the principle, you are giving the formula, but what is the effect? How the transformation takes place? What is that effect?
Prabhuji, by hearing Krishna Katha, hearts get purified.
Acha, that is true. Heart gets purified. What is that effect in the heart that purifies the heart? इतने आधे घंटे से डेलिब्रेट करना. Yes, Sonika.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी जैसा हम लोगों ने पहले पढ़ा था, सद्यो हृदयारुध्यते कृति भी सुश्रुभि तत्क्षणात्. मीन्स अगर हम जब हम हियरिंग करते हैं तो कृष्णा जो है इमीडिएटली वहाँ हृदय में प्रकाशित हो जाते हैं और उसी क्षण तत्क्षणात्. प्रभु जी,
जब तक ये इफेक्ट नहीं आएगा कृष्ण प्रकट नहीं होंगे. हो गए क्या प्रकट? हो गए? आपने एक्सपीरियंस कर लिया? So what is that missing element? That is what I'm asking. Let us not miss this time again. Taste develops for hearing Krishna Katha. The taste that these Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya have in their heart, when we come in association and we hear from them, our taste, our transcendental taste for Krishna, it sprouts, it germinates, which one can never find anywhere, whether he goes to the heavenly planet, so he goes for liberation. He cannot have this Bhakti Lata Bij implanted in his heart. So what this Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya do? They implant that Bhakti Lata Bij. That is what is the role of a spiritual master. That he implants that seed which can fructify in the form of love of the Supreme Lord. So they are so much glorifying that Tulyam Lavanapi na Swargam na Punarbhavam Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya Martya Nam Ke Muta Ashish. What can be spoken for the greatest benediction that they receive? Because if once that taste is developed, that rati is developed for Krishna, then nothing in this world can stop one from going back home, back to Godhead. And the 14th verse, they are glorifying. So we go to the 14th verse. He says, Konam tripye rasavit kathaya. Okay, let me welcome. With us we have Neetaji. Neetaji, you are able to hear?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes.
Okay, we are on the 18th chapter of first canto.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You have Bhagavatam with you?
I do.
Okay, very good. And this is the 15th verse. So all those who are attending here, they normally keep a copy of Bhagavatam with them. Yeah. And we try to cultivate some understanding based on the study of this verse.
Okay, Prabhuji. You
So
said
we are just, yeah. So you are there on the same verse. You can switch on your video in this forum. We don't switch off the video because that is another form of impersonalism.
yes, I understand, Prabhuji.
Yeah. We'll all get your audience and association. And this is a learner's class. All of us, including me, is a learner here. We are all
Yes.
learning. Yeah, we are all learning. Yeah, and
Yes,
we are
yes.
helping each other. We are helping each other to develop some taste in Krishna consciousness. Okay.
Yes, I'll try.
So further they are saying, see the gratitude in their heart. Ko naam tripye rasavit kathayam Mahatma ekant parayanasya Nantam gunanam agunasya jagmur Yogeshwaro ye bhava padma mukhya. We discussed this briefly yesterday. They are so much intoxicated, overwhelmed by the gratitude in their heart for Suta Goswami, the speaker. They say the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings. Is Mahatama Ekanta Parayanasya. Mahatama means the greatest among the living beings. And who are these greatest among the living beings? Is Ye Bhava Padma Mukhya, the most mystic or the most ascetic. They are Shiva and Brahma. So for Shiva and Brahma also, the greatest of all living beings, they have only one shelter. What is that? Ekant Parayanasya. That is, it will come next. And his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar rasa, this is what they are relishing. This is what they have tasted. The Krishna Katha, the Amrita of Krishna Katha. Ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? So the more one hears, and one hears with attention and he has developed the taste, his thirst for hearing, his hankering for hearing, it increases. In the first canto also there is a similar verse, almost similar verse. Anyone remembers? In the first canto, first chapter. When the sages assembled and they requested Suta Goswami to speak, the sages there also, they echoed the same sentiments. Very famous verse. Prabhupada quotes that verse in Bhagavad Gita also. Who presented the first chapter? Manoram Prabhu, you presented the first chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Remember the verse?
Trying to recall.
Because we have not tasted that nectar, no? So you can forget. If I ask you what was the food that you relished the most, even after 10 years, 15 years, you will remember where we really tasted, where we were very satisfied. But there Srimad Bhagavatam is completely saturated with nectar verses. That we forget. Anyone remembers what the sages, when they selected Srila Suta Goswami as their speaker and to hear from him? And what is the commitment to hear? What is the commitment to hear? No one knows. Well, they want to speak. What was the commitment to hear? Without commitment, one can never hear. Yes, Dayashil bro?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, to hear for 1,000 years.
Yes, they were prepared to hear for 1,000 years. 1,000 years. They were prepared to hear Krishna Katha. Very beautiful verse. Manoram, show it. 1:19. Vayam tu na vitrapama yat uttam shloke vikrame. Show the verse. 1:19. If one is actually hearing Krishna Katha, this should be the experience coming in the heart. Yeah. So what they are saying that Vayam tu na vitrapyama uttam shloka vikrame yat shanvatam raso jnanam swadu swadu pade pade. Come to the translation. We are never tired of hearing the transcendental pastimes, the personality of Godhead. Why? The commitment is so colossal. 1,000 years they are prepared to hear. And whom they want to hear? The transcendental pastime of the personality of Godhead. Yat uttam shloka vikrame, who is glorified by the choicest of hymns and prayers. And then they say that those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationship with him relish hearing his pastimes at every moment. Yat shanvatam rasa jnano. Srimad Bhagavatam bestows us that rasa jnana, that swad. Swad is what? Taste. That taste, that higher taste, the taste for the Supreme Lord, the taste of one's love and one's offering to the Supreme Lord. So one can never be tired of hearing. Okay, go forward. Thank you. Close it. We discussed the purport yesterday, so I will not repeat the purport, but I'm just bringing the emotion and the experience that these sages are experiencing while they are hearing Krishna Katha. We are also hearing. We have also come up to 18th chapter. But see what is the difference. what the sages are experiencing and where we are. 15th verse. Tanno bhavan ve bhagavad pradhano Mahatama, okay. Mahatama ekanta parayanasya Harerudaram charitam vishuddham Shushrusatam no vitanotu vidvan. O Sudha Goswami, you are learned and pure devotee of the Lord. Because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. This is how one can develop that higher taste. One's chief object of service or meditation or contemplation should be personality of Godhead. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are all above material conceptions. For we are anxious to receive such messages. This is the qualification of a hearer. That by hearing, his appetite, his thirst to hear increases. Not that he is thinking that when Prabhuji will stop, कब ये बंद करेंगे और मैं प्रसाद खाऊंगा या कुछ और करूंगा. That means that person has no taste for Krishna Katha. The speaker of the transcendental activities of the Lord should have, first the qualification of the speaker is there, because Sudha Goswami is the speaker. For those who want to speak Krishna Katha, this is the criteria. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi Ekaha Kurunandana. And the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. The qualification of the speaker and also the qualification for the hearers. The audience to be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Very difficult in Kali Yuga to find qualified speaker and also very difficult to find qualified hearer. And even most difficult to find the combination of both. But if one is fortunate and this combination can come together, then what will flow is the rasa, the transcendental mellow. It is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. A professional speaker and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Prabhupada has given this same purport in one of the Bhagavad Gita verses also. Anyone remembers? Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavad Sapta for the sake of family maintenance. Prabhupada says here, a qualified speaker in a qualified audience, then there is much congenial for continued discourses on the transcendence. Very beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is showing his extreme intimacy to Arjuna. And Prabhupada is mentioning there that what is required is the qualification for the hearer and the speaker to be together to have such discourses. Anyone remembers the purport? It is in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Bolo, quickly find out. Prabhupada talks about the same principle that both have to be there. A qualified hearer and a qualified speaker. What is the qualification of a hearer? One qualification is required to be a qualified hearer. What is that? Which we just saw from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Don't see the book. Only one person caught it. Others are still absorbed somewhere else. Pranab?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, he must be receptive or
No, that is not the qualification. Not just receptive. Prabhupada used a very special verse, which is used the same verse, some same word in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter also. What is that word? Only 3 people have heard. Others are still hearing something else from their mind. Still not hearing from purports. Purushottam?
so we should be anxious to
Yeah,
hear about.
one should be anxious. And now you open the purport of Bhagavad Gita 10.1. You see, Prabhupada gives the same qualification. And he says that such discourses can take place only among those. Even if one is in the devotee community, it cannot happen. Prabhupada gives the qualification there. Manoram Prabhu, show Bhagavad Gita 10.1. The last paragraph. What it means to be anxious, Purushottam? What it means to be anxious? Bolo, the time he's finding out. What is your
To
understanding
hear
of
more
being
and more
anxious?
about
Huh?
so to develop a taste for hearing.
So that is the effect, but what is the attempt? What it means to be anxious? Manoram 10.1, why taking so long? Yeah, very beautiful verse. One of the most nectarine verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yatte ham priyamanaya vakshayami hitkamaya. Come to the last paragraph of the purport. Read the last paragraph.
The more one hears about the Supreme Lord, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service.
This is the
One-
point. Wait. That is why Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya. And when one comes in association, one gets an opportunity to hear, and with hear, one develops desire to perform devotional service. And with continuous hearing, his desire becomes fixed to perform devotional service. Go ahead.
One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. The Lord clearly.
Wait. This is the point. Even amongst devotee association, it can happen only those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada clearly says that others cannot take part in such discourses. Hare Krishna. So what it really means to be anxious? Prabhupada says, those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. Okay, close the screen, share. So you see, the sages are experiencing this ecstasy by hearing. And as my friend Amogila Prabhu says, And what we are experiencing, हमारी तो हो रही है ऐसी तैसी while hearing. There is no question of ecstasy. They are experiencing that ecstasy, that bliss, that condensed, incalculable condensed bliss. Sandaranand Visheshatma. What is the understanding of being really anxious? How can we become really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness? Anxious, not anxiety. You know the difference, huh? What it means to be anxious and what it means to be in anxiety. Well, let me give this as homework. Tomorrow we will discuss. Okay. Let us all write what it really means to be anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Okay. I'll move forward at this. Let me cover 2-3 verses today. It is already 9:13. And Prabhupada says that professional speakers make a show of Bhagavad Sapta for the sake of family maintenance. Prabhupada is hammering. Make a show of family maintenance. Religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. What does it mean? Family maintenance and materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavad Sapta for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. What is it? It is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Religiosity is dharma, wealth is artha, gratification of the senses is kama, and moksha. Of Bhagavad Sapta for some material benefit. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities. Prabhupada is warning us. But the discourses between the saints of Naimisharanya and Srila Suta Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive for material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished by both the audience and the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. So Prabhupada is saying, what 1,000 years? One can continue for many thousands of years. Bhagavad Saptas are held for 7 days only. And after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. They do so because the speaker is not a Bhagavad Pradhana and the audience is not Shushrusatam, as explained above. Savemaha Bhagavata Parikshit Yena Pavargamakhyan Adabra Buddhihi Jnanena Vaisaki Shabditena Bheje Khagendra Dhvaja Padamulam. So now they are glorifying Maharaj Parikshit. O Sud Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of birds. These topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Srila Shukadev. The word used for Shukadev Goswami is Vyasaki. Vyasaki, the son of Vyas. Sa Mahabhagavata. Who is Mahabhagavata? Parikshit. Sa Mahabhagavata Parikshit. Yena Pavargam Akhyam. Pavarga is this material world and Apavarga is beyond this material world. So one who is always Akhyam, who is seeking, what he is seeking? He is seeking the destination beyond this world. So that is liberation. And he is fixed. Adabra Buddhi, his intelligence is fixed. Where his intelligence is fixed? On what he is hearing, the knowledge that he is receiving from the son of Vyas. How? Shabditena. by the sound vibration. By the sound vibration. There is some controversy among the students on the path of liberation. Such transcendental students are known as impersonalists and the devotees of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord worship the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence or the bodily rays of the Lord, known as the Brahma Jyoti. Here in this verse, it is said that Maharaj Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instructions in knowledge, delivered by the son of Vyasadeva. Parikshit Maharaj attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instructions in knowledge, delivered by the son of Vyasadeva. Very important statement. That how he attained the lotus feet of the Lord, not by his own endeavor, or by his own worship, or by his own renunciation or action, but by instructions in knowledge delivered by the son of Vyasadeva, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is the spiritual master. Sukadeva Goswami was also an impersonalist in the beginning, as he himself has admitted in the Bhagavatam 219. But later on he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and thus became a devotee. Such devotees with perfect knowledge are called Mahabhagavatas or first-class devotees. There are three classes of devotees, namely the Prakrit, Madhyama, and Mahabhagavata. The Prakrit or the third-class devotee are temple worshippers without specific knowledge of the Lord and the Lord devotee. So they are called neophyte, or they are also called as materialist devotees. They come to the temple, they will stand in front of the Lord for a few minutes. Maybe they bring some offering, offer to the Lord, and they return. But they have no specific knowledge of the Lord, and they have no friendship or association with the Lord's devotees. So they are called the Prakrit, or the third-class devotee, as Prabhupada is saying here. The Prakrit is the third-class devotee. The Madhyama or the second-class devotees knows well the Lord and the Lord's devotees. The neophytes and the non-devotees also, but the Mahabhagavata. So see, what the second-class devotee knows, he knows four things. What he knows? He knows well the Lord's devotee. He also knows the neophytes. And he also knows the non-devotees. So he is able to distinguish between all four. But the Mahabhagavata or the first-class devotee sees everything in relation with the Lord and the Lord present in everyone's relation. The Mahabhagavata, therefore, does not make any distinction, particularly between a devotee and a non-devotee. Why? Because the Mahabhagavata sees everyone as a devotee. He does not see anyone as a non-devotee. That is his realization or vision. Because Vidya Vinay Sampanne, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Suni Cheva Swapakecha, Pandita Samadarshana. Maharaj Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavata devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavata devotee, Sukadeva Goswami. He was equally kind even to the personality of Kali, and what to speak of others. So there are many instances in the transcendental histories of the world of an impersonalist who has later become a devotee. But a devotee has never become an impersonalist. This very fact proves that on the transcendental steps occupied by a devotee is higher than the step occupied by an impersonalist. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5. Who remembers 12.5? That person stuck on the impersonal step undergo more suffering than achievement of reality. Anyone remembers? 12.5 is pure devotional service. Yes, Ramya, बोलिए. Very good.
श्री कृष्ण प्रभु जी बस एक बार याद आ रहा है क्लेशो अधिकतर.
Very good. This is the point. Klesho adhikarastesham avyakt asakt chetasam. So what they experience? They experience only klesha, sufferings. Who? Those who are the worshippers of the impersonal form. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti and Bhagwaniti शब्द थे. So those who are the worshippers of the impersonal form. So they are to undergo sufferings. There are so many kleshas. That person stuck on the personal step undergo more sufferings than achievement of reality. Therefore, knowledge imparted by Shukdev Goswami unto Maharaj Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. So very important. The knowledge imparted by Shukdev Goswami unto Maharaj Parikshit helped him attain the service of the Lord. So how the service came about? By hearing. And this stage of perfection is called Apavarga, or the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. But attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called perfect stage of liberation. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 12. Who remembers this verse? Very beautiful verse. All aspect of verse is given here in the purport. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained. Who remembers? 1 to 12. Bolo, bolo. Who presented the second chapter? This verse should be known to you. ये verse याद कराया था. Catch the translation now. I have just read out the translation of that verse. What is the verse? Or what is the principle? If you don't even remember the verse, no problem. What is the principle? सिद्धांत क्या है? कुबेर कुछ समझ में आता है?
सेकंड चैप्टर पढ़ानी,
जोर से बोलो.
वही सेकंड चैप्टर पढ़ानी है.
पढ़ा तो कुछ भी नहीं है. सुनते हैं, अब तो सुनना शुरू किया है. पता नहीं कितने दिन तक टिकोगे, ये भी पता नहीं. क्योंकि टिक गए तो तर जाओगे. तरना है नहीं, यहीं बार बार भटकना है, फंसना है, निकलना है नहीं. सेकंड चैप्टर नहीं पढ़ा तो पढ़ लो ना. किसने रोका है? कौन रोक रहा है तुम्हें आगे कि मत पढ़ो, पढ़ने नहीं दूंगा? किसी ने रोका है? अरे this verse is known to most of you, भाई. How you are missing this verse? Pranab, what is the verse?
Don't know, Prabhuji.
क्लास खत्म, उसके बाद सब कुछ खत्म. कल जब 8:30 बजेगा तब दोबारा ट्यूनिंग करेंगे. उसके बीच में कोई टाइम नहीं है. किसी को नहीं याद है ये वर्ष? प्रियंका, तीन वर्ड से पता चल जाएगा वो वर्ष. It is talking about renunciation, it is talking about knowledge, it is talking about devotional service.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
बोलो.
Prabhuji, this is Prabhuji, Jnana and renunciation is Vairagya.
Jnana and renunciation.
Vairagya, about this verse is about Jnana and detachment, which is Vairagya.
Yeah. So how it comes? Again, see, there are two aspects now. One is the cause, the other is the effect. What we are lacking is the effect is not there. How that effect, that realization is coming? तश्रद्धान मुनियो ज्ञान वैराग्य युक्तया पश्यन्ति आत्मनि चात्मानां भक्त्या श्रुता गृहीतया. Did we not remember this verse? But he realizes the absolute truth by the process of devotional service in terms of what he has heard, based on what is hearing from the authorities. So this is what Parikshit Maharaj became successful. This is what is the desire of the sages. This is what they are desiring. That they also want to perfect their life as Maharaj Parikshit has done. Prabhupada is saying simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation. But attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of revelation. Liberation, such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained. And perfect knowledge as delivered by Srila Shukadev Goswami results in attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord. I'll stop here. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. So you know in Ekadashi what we have to do. What is the foremost thing we have to do in Ekadashi? Akshay Prabhu? सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्या है एकादशी के दिन?
वैष्णव
बोलिए, एकादशी के दिन सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्या है?
ज्यादा से ज्यादा चैंटिंग करना है।
कितना? मिनिमम 25।
25
ज्यादा नहीं, मिनिमम 25।
जी
हाँ, करते हैं भर एकादशी 25?
जी प्रभु।
हाँ, तो
जी
कल
प्रभु।
ज्यादा से ज्यादा करिए, 25 से ऊपर 32, 40, 48 जितना संभव है करिए।
जी
Okay. So should we have the class tomorrow? Or you want to chant? We can
क्लास
only have the class if you have chanted minimum 25 rounds, no less than that.
जी
इवनिंग में ये
जी
नहीं लगता कि मेरे अभी 5 बाकी है, 7 बाकी है।
सुबह कर लूंगा।
हाँ, सुबह कर लेना। सबके लिए बोल रहा हूँ, अपने लिए भी। जब तक 25 होए नहीं तब तक कुछ खाना नहीं। सिंपल, बहुत सिंपल फॉर्मूला है। पानी के अलावा कुछ नहीं लेना है, आराम से हो जाएगा 25। नहीं तो होगा ही नहीं। पूरा सुबह से लेकर रात तक जूझते रहोगे, कुछ नहीं होगा। बाकी सब होता रहेगा, चैंटिंग नहीं होगा। Yes, Dayashil bro, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, tomorrow is spiritual scientist session.
Tomorrow is Ekadashi also and spiritual scientist also. Okay, never mind. We will have Saturday, we will have spiritual scientist session. I'll come. I'll come provided you have finished your 25 rounds in the morning or more.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You make a commitment for that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. And inspire others also to chant. Okay, so tomorrow we'll have spiritual scientist. There is nothing different between Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. It is the same. The nectar which is stored in Srimad Bhagavatam is flowing from Bhagavad Gita only. Thank you very much. Please memorize these verses. Please put some effort, some extra bit of endeavor to see what is the experience of the hearers of Srimad Bhagavatam. What they are tasting. What rasa, what mellow that they are experiencing. So we can also experience that if we follow in their footsteps. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी कोटि कोटि प्रणाम।